Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
All right, welcome back to HorrorVision. It has been another extended long time. So I just want to briefly address that. Boog is no longer with us. He's not dead, but I guess some people would want him to be dead. I'm not saying that. Is that too far, Aaron?
I think I fall in that category.
No, that's too far. We don't hate Boog. Boog
Nah.
just is not reliable. We'll just leave it at that. But you may hear from him again time to time. But we decided to mix it up in an effort just to get more consistent with the podcast. So I'm here, your usual host, John, along with our new permanent host,
Aaron. My name's Aaron.
His name's Aaron. He's been on before. He knows what he's doing. He
knows at least once.
He knows his way around a microphone, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Up close.
Whoa. I guess we'll probably never end up doing that Invisible Man podcast we've been promising that we saw the day it came out. But a new recent one came out on Amazon streaming service. I saw the trailer, looked pretty interesting, so I fired over the information to Aaron because this seemed like something up his alleyway. Like a little bit backstory with Aaron. He is more of like a science techie type person. Like he can build your computer.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. I mean, that's you. You don't have to talk in third person.
Oh yeah.
But
Aaron better.
He better. He done better. I mean, he built my computer. Anyway, so the movie is The Vast of Night. Basically, it's like a period piece in the 1950s involving a guy that works at a radio station, like as a late night DJ in the small, I think it was in New Mexico.
Yeah,
New Mexican town. As well as the other prominent character, the female lead. She worked at, was it as a phone operator or like a phone switchboard?
Yeah, switchboard operator. That was pretty cool to see, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's something we'll talk about that I liked about this movie is it gave you like an authentic feel, and there's so many things in our modern like daily life that we take for granted, like being able to pick up a phone and just call anybody. But back then, they had like the archaic, the beginnings of what we have now, but you don't think about what it took to get here, and like where you're having to switch. A call comes in, and you have to actually connect. And like there was that one scene in there with it was turned out to be a long distance call, and there was no way to call that person back unless they called.
They had no idea who it was.
It's crazy. Like
give us your number, we'll never find you.
That's something that added to a little bit of like the tension in the movie for me is like now, even if we go out, like when we go on like our camping trips and stuff like that, like you could still pick up your phone. It might not have the strongest signal and call, and like someone could come find you in like a short amount of time. But this is like you're in an actual physical town, and like there's something about it. Even though you're in a town, it's like you're still isolated. Like you had to like be more. You had to handle yourself better, I guess, is the way to say it. Like you'd have to watch out for but you were alone.
Yeah.
That's something that this movie did well, I thought.
And it was refreshing. I know it's kind of like a comment on like the time it took place, but it was refreshing to see how they're so excited about some of this new technology. Like the younger people, you know, the main character, the guy, the girl Faye, how they like
Yeah.
this technology. You know, they're talking about like the recorder and
Yes.
how's the coolest shit.
Well,
It
that
reminded me
I
of like
thought you were referencing
the
the
newest
one.
iPhone just came out.
Yeah, and then like, oh, it doesn't have this. Like that's like people not thinking about like how crazy it is. Like, imagine if someone from 1950, like you hopped in your DeLorean time
Mhm.
machine. Well, first off, if you rolled up in a DeLorean in 1950, people would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But and they saw an iPhone, that would blow their mind.
Hmm.
Um, but the one that I thought you were talking about for a second, but I really liked is when she was telling him the stories from like a popular mechanic like magazine or
Oh
something.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
talking about different like vacuum tube traveling or like
Oh yeah.
automated cars,
That
and it's like
that was
funny.
very interesting. Yeah,
Or when
radio,
she talked
RC
about the
cars.
or she talked about like how her mom thinks they're gonna have like these small tiny like clamshell phones with like a video screen on it. He's like, that just
Yeah.
sounds ridiculous.
That was honestly just a little I think that was honestly the little voice of the writer right there because
Yeah,
they framed that as being the most preposterous one. But that's the only one out of the three, yeah, new
yeah,
technologies that actually came out. That was funny. That was a little tongue in cheek. It kept you interested,
I liked
you
it.
know? Mm-hmm.
Um, well, I guess that's a good segue in there, talking about the writer. So,
Mm-hmm.
the director, writer, cast. So, the movie was directed and written by Andrew Patterson.
I got his page up right now.
Did you see that beard that he got? Dude,
One busy list here.
yeah, did you see his picture there? That beard is sweet.
No, it didn't look good.
Oh, it's nuts. Good on him. Yeah, so his filmography is just this.
Yeah,
That's
that
the
was
only
it.
thing that I'm seeing, but
This was his debut.
yeah, good for him though, because I liked what I saw here, and I would definitely be interested to see um, what he follows this up as. But it's kind of funny actually looking at the credits. So I guess maybe he produced this and everything. Like, he did almost all of the major portions of this by himself. Writer, credited as editor, editing department, as a producer,
The real
and
question is,
in each
did
and all
anybody
those.
else help him do this?
Well, that's the part that's crazy is he's credited as different people doing this. So it's kind of
I
like
see
maybe he was
this.
making it seem like writer, and it says he's credited as James Montague,
Who the hell is
editor as
Junis
Junus
Tully?
Tall. Yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe he like wanted to make it seem like more people worked on it to sell this, but I mean that's even more impressive
Hmm.
because you can definitely tell it's lower budget, but it didn't
Yeah.
hinder it. Like that's something I think too is if you're gonna have a lower budget, you have to have a strong, interesting story and like
Hmm.
a well fleshed out screenplay.
Hmm.
I think this movie had both of those things. So good
It
for
definitely did.
Andrew Patterson.
The story kept it simple. Well, it bounced around a little bit. I mean, there was some, um, they had varying goals throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
The main characters, and they kind of moved throughout this developing plot.
What
But in
I
the end, it was relatively simple.
Yeah. What I like too is because I was a little bit worried like towards the end because you're dealing with such a like cosmically big like situation where it's going to be world changing, like paradigm shifting, like if everyone knows aliens, and I was like wondering if they were going to get into that, which something this small a scope I didn't think could like do justice to, so I liked how they kept it small, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
um, but jumping into the cast here, first one we got that played Faye, Sierra McCormick. Faye was the switchboard operator. I didn't. Was she in high school? Recently graduated high school. I couldn't
I'm
tell. I
fairly
couldn't
certain she
tell.
was
Yeah,
still in high school.
but
Then Jake Howitz, that was played Everett Sloan. He was the main, the I would call him the main character. Both of them, I guess. Two
yeah,
main
I
characters.
would just call them the leads.
Yeah, the leads.
So Sierra, she's been in a few things here. Curb Your Enthusiasm. She played Emma for like 2 years, which I don't know if you've seen that.
No,
I
I've been meaning to.
that's the Larry David show. Yeah, so you're familiar
Yeah,
with it. It's
yeah.
hilarious. Like,
Hmm.
so this is personal, and I say this, and people are like, "What the hell?" But like, I am not a Seinfeld fan at all. Like, I get that's a separate like kind of comedy, and
Hmm.
but it just didn't work for me. But
Mm.
Larry David, obviously famous as a writer on that, Larry David's show himself is so much funnier.
Mm.
It's like Curb Your Enthusiasm's tough to watch sometimes though, because it's like the cringiest of the cringe. Like, you watch it and you feel awkward for him.
Hmm.
I guess she also she
She's
played a
actually
tar
done
pit
a
kid
good
in
bit.
Land of the Lost. Yeah,
Yeah, Tar Pit Kid.
that's Boog. He's a goddamn tar pit kid.
God. But no,
That's
she's
another
actually.
positive about Boog being on
Yeah.
here. If you ever want to vent, like, and you're like just pissed off at your brother,
Hmm.
oh, spoiler alert, Aaron is Boog's brother.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But if you ever want to just vent
Older
or
brother.
whatever, he's never once listened to the
Oh, good. I
podcast.
can say as much shit as I want.
Yeah. But yeah, she's kept busy. I thought that she acted very well in this.
Hmm.
Like, the scenes when it called for being emotional, like the fear, like she portrayed that well. Like, some people like ham it up, overact it, but she was believable. As well as like in the beginning when she's meeting the radio guy,
Hmm.
just being like a super like over eager like young person. She portrayed that very believably.
In my opinion, the radio guy stole the show.
Oh yeah, like
Fast talking,
I
funny,
thought
sarcastic.
so. Jake Horowitz playing Everett Sloan, the local late night radio DJ. I thought at first, like the first few minutes, it's going to be like, oh, this guy's going to be so annoying, having no redeemable. But like, he even explains like how the radio persona is just like a fake thing, and like I found his character to be very endearing. And
Yeah,
every time I looked at him, I kept thinking Rivers Cuomo from Weezer.
yeah, yeah. But the nice
But
thing
then
about
again,
him
if you
is,
think about Rivers Cuomo, like his whole shtick or whatever,
Mhm.
not shtick, the dude's a talented guy. Weezer's awesome, but like his whole like look, whatever, is that like 1950s like Buddy Holly aesthetic. So,
Yeah,
but
yep.
if it that's another thing. They made it look like the 1950s.
Hmm. But
But
he was definitely a well-developed character. He had
mhm,
goals. Um, he had multiple personalities for different settings. Him getting ready for the radio show at the beginning, and then him doing the show, and
I really
talking
like that
about his
scene.
goals to get
Like,
out.
it almost, and I'd have to go back and look, but that was almost like a one cut, like walking through the small town into the school gym to try to help them. And then
I
I like those in movies, those opening scenes that build the atmosphere. Like, you
Yeah.
got the feel for the town on that.
So that should be a whole separate section to talk about is some of the cinematography. So multiple scenes in this show or in the movie were extremely long,
Hmm.
extremely long scenes. I mean, I saw something interesting. This was on Amazon Prime, and
Hmm.
Amazon Prime, when you watch these, nice thing about the service is you can actually, while watching it, you can bring up IMDb, and it just like overlays.
Hmm.
It'll like let you preview the IMDb page of like the actor that's currently on the scene and stuff like that. But there's
That's pretty
also a little
cool.
section for trivia. So the one thing that was really interesting was that original switchboard scene with her on the switchboard. So
Hmm.
she was on this. That was awesome. If you think about it, 8 minutes of talking. Okay,
And you
and
don't
sure.
even realize that too. Like, that's something not to cut in there, but like, this movie is majority talking and not a lot of action,
Hmm.
but it's so interesting, like the information that you're finding out and the way that it's told, like it makes the movie.
Yeah,
uh,
Th those are tough scenes. I mean, she's having a conversation um, with multiple people, right?
mm-hmm.
She's reacting to the strange noises and she's asking people their opinions, but the whole entire time the camera is directly on her face.
Yeah.
I mean, she can't turn off acting mode at any one point that's lost.
Yeah.
So the one interesting trivia point was